Hey YouTube, Axel Fireflurry here. The day has finally come. I have the time and the motivation to start working on a new segment I'd like to call My Favorite 6. Now, how My Favorite 6 is going to work is I'm going to go through all 18 Pokemon types, and I'm going to count down the top 6 Pokemon I absolutely love. Now, why top 6? Well, as any Pokemon player knows, you can only have up to 6 Pokemon on a team. So, if I were to be stuck with a mono-type team, these would be the ones I would use. Now, please keep in mind, not all these Pokemon I enjoy for competitive reasons. Some of them are going to be really good in-depth reasons. Some of them are just going to be, they look cool. So please keep that in mind before you start leaving all sorts of crazy hate comments. So, let's get started with number 6, Galvanchilla from Generation 5. Quick little fun note, I'm arachnophobic. I do not like spiders. So, I find it really amusing that I enjoy Galvanchilla so much. Now, why I like Galvanchilla is I love the design, and is probably the closest to a spider other than Aragorn from Harry Potter that I'm going to get to, because, like I said, do not like spiders. No bueno. But I also love the typing. It's electric and bug. I think if you looked into its move pool, I think you can find interesting and unique ways to play it. Now, the more common thing is using Compound Eyes, and probably one of my favorite moves for it, Sticky Web. Now, I don't use Galvanchilla's Sticky Web since I do have it on my Smeargle, but given that this is a bug type video, we're not going to focus on Smeargle. So, Galvanchilla, great looking Pokemon considering it's a damn spider. It's typing, it has decent moves. I think even for a while a lot of people were using it, but unfortunately something else was just better and took its place. Well, what can you do? Number 5, Ahriados. Now, again, a spider-type Pokemon. Doesn't exactly make sense that another spider-type would be on my video. Well, this is a Generation 2 Pokemon. Now, Generation 2 came out when I was still really young and still really, really scared of spiders. So it was just sort of my way of, easing into the transition of actually enjoying spiders. Or not fainting every time I saw one. What can you do? Again, the design is really cool. Now, it is only a bug type, and it doesn't exactly have the greatest move pool, but what can you do? It's an interesting Pokemon, and it came at a time where I probably could have, when I probably needed it. So, with that being said, we're on to number 4, Lavani. Now, if it's absolutely one thing I love and look for in a Pokemon is I love the design. If it's another thing I love graceful looking Pokemon. Now, I don't think that there's a single bug-type Pokemon out there that can look as graceful or as beautiful as Lavani. Is it the greatest Pokemon ever? Well, not exactly in the higher tiers, but who knows, maybe one day it'll have a chance to shine. But like I said, it's a graceful, elegant-looking Pokemon. I saw it on the TV show before I got it in the game, in Black and White 2, and as soon as I saw it, I immediately fell in love with it. It looked so graceful, moved so swiftly. I just told myself, dude, go catch it. So I looked up online to see who I needed to catch to, evolve and all that stuff. I have it in my Y game right now. I love it. I don't use it as often as I should, which does make me feel bad. But, you can't use every Pokemon you enjoy. So, with that being said, we're going to move on to number 3, Heracross. Heracross is... Now, these next 3 Pokemon, I'm just going to throw out right now. The only reason I really put them in here, well, 2 out of the 3, is merely because these were the Pokemon you can run in the safari, and you wanted to catch them. They didn't show up very often, but the instant you threw anything at them, they would run away. And if it's one thing another thing I love in a Pokemon is how hard it is to catch. If it's gonna take me a while, I'm gonna want it even more with every loss. So the more losses, the more obsessed I'm gonna be with catching it. And with Heracross getting a Mega Evolution with X and Y, and the ability Skill Link, I was using Heracross for quite a while as soon as I got my Heracross site. I bred it, and it's actually doing me really well. I was using it for quite a while. It was doing really well. The ability is Skill Link if you're not familiar, and what Skill Link does is a move that would normally hit only 2 to 5 times will always hit 5 times. So you're going to give it those kind of moves. Now the base damage isn't exactly all that great, but hey, it makes up for it hitting 5 times in a row. So, with that being said, we're going to move on to number 2, Pincer. Now again, Pincer mainly just because it was just really hard to catch. It didn't show up very often for me. I had a hard time catching it back in red and blue version. Even in fire, red, leaf, green. It was one of those really hard to come by, really hard to catch Pokemon. And it actually does look kinda cool, and I don't think I've ever actually used its new Mega Evolution, but that's okay. It doesn't look like it's that great of a Mega Evolution. I think its ability is it turns bug type moves or normal type moves into flying types, which I guess is okay. I mean, you'll get that stab, but it just never seemed like something I was really into. But what can you do? And the number 1 slot for the bug type top 6 favorites, Scyther. Scyther was the only bug I ever really wanted to have, or ever really wanted to catch growing up. Back in first, maybe second generation, thanks to Heracross. This looked so cool to me as a kid. It was a praying mantis with these giant scythes for hands. That alone was really cool. I always told myself, okay, if I were to be a Pokemon, I would want Scyther's wings and, have the little scythe, and that just seemed like such a cool Pokemon to me growing up. I mean, I know it's not that great of a Pokemon, and its evolution Scizor and its Mega Evolution Mega Scizor is much better, but it looked cool. It was a great part of my childhood. As soon as I caught one, I was so happy. It was in my team for as long as I had the game. I think I even still have the game, still have it on my team. It's just an amazing Pokemon to me, and that's really all I have to say. I mean, I apologize for this video having really poor and sort of weak reasons for loving these 6 Pokemon. I normally don't use bug types. So, stay tuned as I keep going through the top 6 Pokemon I would have. Did a Pokemon that you enjoy at all show up in this list? Did I leave somebody out? Please let me know in the comments what you think. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.